Hello and welcome to Sons of Olympia. I'm Matt.
And I'm George, and we're brothers.
Our parents are Olympians.
Yes, we are the two sons of Olympian parents who have failed to fulfill their genetic potential.
And like all underachieving children, we have decided to start a podcast.
Yes, we have. This is episode 10.
Double digits!
Double digits, baby. Let's go. How are you, Matt? You all good?
I'm all good. I'm all fine. Probably a little better than you, actually. I know you're highly fatigued. The DOMs are incoming.
They're here right now, actually. Yeah, I ran the Falmouth half today. Run Falmouth 2026, which was good. Tough. Cornwall is hilly.
Yeah,
if you didn't
not
know.
known for being flat, is it?
And also wet. So
Yeah.
it's wet and hilly. It's quite difficult out there.
Ideal conditions.
People keep saying that, but I just disagree. Especially like in March. Maybe if it was like wet in the height of summer, that would have been nice. Wet in March and you're just cold and wet.
I mean, it was a joke. I was saying that's not ideal conditions.
I see now. I see.
People actually think cold and wet is ideal conditions.
Maybe not cold and wet, but sometimes they're like, a bit of drizzle on the run, that would be nice conditions for running, cool you down. It's still pretty cold.
Yeah.
And then I was just like wet the whole way around, doing it in my RSPB vest as well. It was cold before I even began. But yeah, tough day out on the lanes.
Yeah. You've set me a time to beat as well for the Sheffield half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's just remind the listeners what the benchmark
I got
is.
1:44.04 today.
Okay.
I know no way near my PB though, if that's the
Well, I tried some super shoes for the first time on Friday. And
you got a pair?
I haven't got a pair. I tried some in the shop. They didn't have my size, but some Nike ones, not a sponsor, and I was stunned. It felt like cheating. Honestly, I just did, the little token jog in the shop.
Yeah.
And
These feel good. These feel good.
I was like, bang! It was really rocking me forward, and I thought, is this even okay to wear? Because it honestly felt like unethical, which is highly relevant for this episode.
Interesting about the super shoes. I'm looking at maybe getting some as well for the marathon. It's just I think it's also just nice to have a race day shoe.
Yeah,
that will help
definitely
get you in the mind, give you that little thing where it's like, oh my gosh, the shoes are on. It's time.
New pair of socks as well.
Oh yeah, and pants. The chafe. I need to sort that out because that's the worst bit actually at the moment. Sorry, listeners. Maybe TMI, but Christ. I do damage every single long run to my areas. What were we talking about?
Anyway, super shoes.
Super shoes. So apparently, obviously, they make you quicker. They push you forward, but apparently they also stop your legs fatiguing as much because obviously so it's like a double thing. You're quicker and maybe not getting as tired.
Yeah.
And I could hear the difference today on the Falmouth run. Someone would be coming and there's this more of a firmer pounding, and I was like, they're the shoes. And of course there is someone next to me in some like bloody neon green mega shoe.
Yeah,
I was like, I could hear them. They sound different on the road because there wasn't as many runners. There's only like 650 people today. So
I think you just got to join the masses. Otherwise, even if it gets in your head, you look around, everyone's got them on the start line. You're like, well, I'm all ready. I might as well, pack it in. But they're not cheap. So we digress.
Lidl released a carbon palated shoe for about 40 quid. Don't know if you saw this.
Oh, middle aisle special.
So, the middle of Lidl. You'll now be able to find a super, in air quotes, shoe, because I've heard they're also not very good, and maybe you shouldn't run in them.
I don't know why I look surprised. I'm not surprised.
Before we move on from it's definitely moving on from the super shoes. But I wanted to tell you this. I actually bumped into someone in Cornwall recently. I'm not sure if this news has got back to you.
Well, there are other people in Cornwall, so I'm not surprised.
Well, I bumped into someone we both know. I bumped out in the wild, a fan of the podcast. Stopped me on the Cornish Coast path and was like, George. And then it was your friend, George Thrupp, fellow George. And he commented on the podcast, said, I love the podcast. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Bumping into one of our 10 listeners. Out in the wild, where I thought you'd like to know. So shout
that
out
is
George
nice.
if you're listening. Thanks for saying hello.
Yeah, legend.
Well, what are we going to talk about today? Any news?
There is some news, isn't there? A few things
Probably
going down before we get into the guts of the episode today, which is all around sportsmanship. Let's touch on some of the things that have been going down. LA Marathon, not a marathon I usually keep up to date with, to be honest, but it just seemed to be all over the socials for several reasons.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? You know about
I have,
it, don't you?
yes.
Yeah.
So this was American Nathan Martin beating Kimani Kameu with a photo finish. He won by just 0.01 second, and the video of this is incredible. Like
it's so sad.
He must think he's got it in the bag. And
you think that's what? I don't think he looks like he's got it in the bag. I think he looks like he's absolutely bonked out of his mind, and he's dying.
But like the guy's nowhere near him at the start of the clip. Obviously, he's got nothing.
He can't do anything about it. That's the problem.
No. But and again, at some point you would hear those super shoes coming up behind you.
That squeaky.
Boom. And it's kind of a bit of a humiliating loss because he falls down. It's not just being pipped at the post. It's almost like he gets nudged out the way. But I think he like realizes and just.
I don't think it's humiliation at all. He's pushed himself to the absolute limit. I just feel so sad and sorry for him because you know what that feeling's like when your legs have completely gone and all you're trying to do is get to the finish. You can see it there, and to get done like that, truly heartbreaking for him. And I think there's a serious amount of prize money as well. I think it was like $10,000. So that's gone. But did you know why this is extra controversial? Because earlier in the race, that Kenyan was in the lead, and a fan with a Kenyan flag sort of crossed him. And he had to sort of readjust to sort of avoid the fan, veered off and actually went the wrong way and had to turn back and then get back up to sort of speed again, sort of U-turned back onto the course. Then you go to lose it by that margin.
Yeah. I was going to say, as soon as that flag's in the way and you slightly have to step back, well, that's 0.01 second. Just that. So the fact that he's gone off course as well, I mean,
what that does to you psychologically, your rhythm, or your pacing, get back up to speed. So that happened, and so I feel extra sorry for him. Yeah. I mean, the guy who won in the end was a US guy, and he was I think he's a teacher actually, like a secondary school coach. So I feel happy for him. So it's not like
I heard that he's the first Black American to win the LA Marathons. I guess that's pretty cool. And I did see the clips of him coming back to his school, and everyone's loving him.
Yeah, that's
bit
nice.
of a celebrity.
Yeah.
So what we've spoke about before about some of these like elite athletes, it's not their job. They're not making enough money to live off. He's coaching the kids.
He's coaching the kids, and he's just won 10 grand. Yeah, happy days.
Fab. Yeah, pack it in. Let the kids coach themselves now.
It wasn't all bad though for Kenya, because in the women's race of the LA Marathon, someone called Prisha Chirono won from Kenya. She's Kenyan, and she's got an incredible story. And I think this has been overshadowed by what happens in the men's race because that was so dramatic. But this, I think, is more inspiring. So Prisha, she ran in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. She ran in the 5,000 meters. That was her only Olympic appearance. After that, she went on to have 3 children. In that
children
period.
of Olympia.
Well, I don't know about who the father was. No, maybe half children of Olympia at least.
Okay.
So anyway, she went on had 3 kids. She's now 45. So not maybe the peak of her powers. She ran her first ever professional marathon 3 months before LA. So 3 months ago, she did her first run at the marathon. She won it. And then she went and ran LA, and she led the race from mile 1 until 26.2. There was no one with her. So she just went and ran. and won the whole thing. And I think
pressure.
she ran it in 2:25. And I just think to say you're 45-year-old, mother of 3, you're winning a big marathon like that. I just think that's very inspiring, and
That is
the way
very
she won it as
inspiring.
well, just gunning from the get-go. I just think that's something to celebrate.
That's very
So well done,
cool.
Prisha.
Well done, Prisha.
Yes.
I bet your kids are very proud. They're
Yeah.
very proud of you as well. That's nice. Other news, our boy Mondo, he's only gone and bloody done it again. A new world record, 6:31. And I thought this was even funnier because he was doing it at his like own event, the Mondo Classic. I'm actually like a huge Mondo fan now. I know we've joked about him, but like the more I see of this guy, I'm like, he's the main character.
He is. Can I just ask a question? How much did he break it by? I think I know the answer.
It was 1 centimeter.
Oh,
I think, yeah.
Of course.
And I believe he also broke the world record with his own song, "I'm Feeling Myself," playing in the background.
It's a banger.
He's crushing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone else can really hold a pole vault specific event. There was nothing else happening other than pole vault. So if he didn't break the world record, it's kind of like, oh, what do we all come here for?
I know, yeah. We came here for one reason only, to see.
I think he only did 4 jumps as well.
centimeter.
He only did 4. He was like, I'll do a warm up, a couple of warm ups. Oh, and you know what?
Yeah.
I want an early night. Set the bar at the world record.
I would just be so interested to know what he's jumping behind closed doors.
Well, I didn't hear. It's not like I'm, tuned into the pole vault. But I saw a reel and it said like, apparently he doesn't do that much pole vaulting in training. He's just sort of like weight training and
I
whatever.
saw that and I was like, no, of course he's pole vaulting in training. Like what? He's a pole vaulter? Yeah, obviously he's going to do loads of weight training and loads of like plyometrics and jumping and stuff, but he's got to be doing pole vaulting. He's the best in the world at it.
Yeah, you just at least pretend like you're trying, Mondo.
Yeah, that's just Mondo propaganda, I think he's putting out. It's like, I don't even pole vault. I'm actually more of a weightlifter. I just happen to be the best that's ever done it. Okay, let's leave Mondo aside for a minute.
Yeah, that's another 100K in the bag for him. Easy night's work.
Easy.
Yes. Other things. Paralympics. The Winter Paralympics have been happening as well.
They have.
Sadly, they end tonight, Sunday, as the time of recording this. Not great for Team GB, unfortunately. We had a target of 2 to 5 medals, and we delivered 1 silver. Yeah, thanks to Neil Simpson and his guide, Rob Path, who won silver in the Alpine combined. So not what the team were hoping for. We finished 23rd in the medal table. But there is some context behind this. Apparently 17 of the 25 athletes that we took were making their first Olympic debut. So it was kind of like a changing of the guard happening. Not much experience in that team. So maybe the next one we'll do a bit better.
Yeah, get your first one under your belt.
Yeah. Interesting. We know how much Norway dominated the Winter Olympics. Well, they struggle in the Winter Paralympics. They were 12th in the medal table, nowhere near the force of the Winter Olympics. So I don't know what that means, but
no,
they ain't as good at the Winter Paralympics.
Yeah, wonder why.
China top, then US, then Russia, who are back. So yeah, not great for us, but roll on France. With a fully experienced team.
I like that. Other news in the NBA world, you might have seen this. Big headline actually. Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat only went and scored 83 points in a single game against the Washington Wizards on the 10th of March. So this is now the second highest scoring game by a player ever.
Did anyone else score points in that game? I mean,
the score was pretty high, but I don't actually know. I think they did get over 140 points, the Miami Heat in the end. So well over half. But yeah, he beat Kobe Bryant's record from 2002 of 81. So he's only behind now Wilt Chamberlain, who famously got this 100-point game in 1962,
Wow.
although there is no video of this game. So questions to be asked there. It definitely did happen. But obviously it doesn't have the same cultural impact, perhaps, because there's not the highlight reel. People can't go back and watch it and stuff. But yeah, this was a mad game of basketball. He had 31 points at the end of the first quarter. So if he kept that going, 124 points, 3 at the half. So by halfway, he's already beaten his career high. 62 at the end of the third. I mean, having a what am I trying to say?
Bloody.
He's having a good game of basketball, and you'd think that surely this like huge.
What is going on?
successful
I've got so
night-
many questions.
Yeah. So you'd think that people would be like, "Oh wow, what a great game! But this sort of though is going to tie into our theme of this episode of sportsmanship, because it's now being seen. Some people are saying this game that happened on the 10th of March is now an infringement to the integrity of the game of basketball. Some describing it as the most unethical game of basketball the league has ever seen, an affront to the name basketball. So like, what happened? So basically, he was playing really well until the end of the game. I think it's only like the last 7 minutes of this game, maybe, that people are upset about, because basically everything was done to maximize his opportunities to score. Like if you talk about stat padding or whatever, where people will go after certain things, they did everything. They were like basically getting the ball to him at every single opportunity. They were intentionally fouling the Wizards, so the other team, so they would just shoot free throws so they could just get the ball back to Bam quicker, which is crazy. They at one point they intentionally missed a free throw so they could get the ball back and get it to Bam. So he also had the most free throw attempts in history, 43, shot 43 free throws. So he scored 83, and 36 of those points were at the free throw line. He also has the 5th most 3-pointers attempted in a game ever, even though he's not like a 3-point shooter. So this is sort of where it brings in this question, like, are they playing ethically within the spirit of the game to get
well, the answer is no. They were playing a different game. Like they were doing something else. They had a different objective in that game to just winning. It was give this guy the ball, and the game for them was how many points can Bam get.
Yeah,
which it's. I mean, I would be kind of a little bit embarrassed, because you say up until 7 minutes to go, he was just having an absolute blinder, just playing. I mean, because you said he hit a career high at halfway.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, what is this guy on? Like, why is he? I do find it odd when you get these games where someone has so many points, because you're just like, well, what is happening here? I don't know. Maybe I just don't know enough about basketball. Like, why do you get these crazy scores from one person?
So there is a thing in basketball, and it would be interesting how this is. It will be in other sports where they call it the hot hand, right? Where when you start seeing the ball go in, do you know what I mean? Like you score a couple, then it's like you've got your confidence and you're going to get the ball more because you're on fire, you're heating up. So that could play into it. But normally, I think when there's, and like Miami did batter the Washington Wizards. The Wizards suck, right? They're a bad basketball team in the league at the moment. So people are sort of discrediting it for that, really, as well, and saying that's part of it. But normally, if like a team is winning by a lot and a player is doing really well, a coach sometimes will be like, okay, you're sitting now. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've won the game. We'll get the subs in for the final thing. But the coach made the decision. Do you know what I mean? You're staying in. You're scoring really well, and like, so it's like the coach is involved with it. And normally there were loads of games where like Steph Curry might have been shooting really well, or Klay Thompson hitting a load of threes, but the game is won. They've won the game, so they pull them out. And some part of me is like, oh, let them stay in. Do you know what I mean? They're playing incredible. As a fan, I'm like, stay in, but at the same time, do you know what I mean? There is something strange about this. I think some of the stuff they've done, like intentionally fouling the other team when you're winning, that seems really weird. Don't like that.
No. And if you say like there's a bit of the whole Wilt one, the 100 point game, that's sort of like, okay, no video evidence, okay, whatever. Then this one, there's going to be question marks over this. And even the Kobe one, wasn't that like his last ever game in the NBA, where there was a lot of like, give him the
yeah.
ball, he's leaving,
Yeah.
sort of things.
Well,
I don't know, maybe you need to even get close to these, maybe you just need everyone to be on the same page of like,
for sure.
let these guys score.
Yeah. I watched this really good YouTube video where it's a guy saying if to get this record, to score this many points, you have to have all these things aligned. Your coach has to keep you in. So, I mean, everyone has to sort of be on the right page, like, yeah, getting the ball, blah, 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 blah. It has to sort of be a close enough game so your best player stays in. But apparently this Wilt Chamberlain game, from like the reports and stuff, he was probably doing all this similar stuff. Do you know what I mean? He was getting the ball all the time. There might have been, and that's how he would have maybe got that record. But I think that is an interesting recent piece of sporting news that ties into
it
the
does.
theme of sportsmanship.
Yeah, because we want to talk about sportsmanship, and I think a good place to start is the Oxford Dictionary, where we can probably measure up against that recent example, whether we think it passes the test of sportsmanship. So the Oxford Dictionary says sportsmanship is fair and generous behaviour or treatment of others, especially in a sporting contest. So kind of loose, I would say, not particularly in depth. I think the actual what sportsmanship is a bit deeper than that. And then, so if you sort of ask Google, you get the whole AI treatment around what it is, and it cites different sources. So this is sort of a sum up, one in a bit more depth maybe. Sportsmanship is fair, respect and ethical behaviour in sports, emphasising integrity over merely winning, which I think that's the most important thing. It's more than just winning. It's like keeping the sort of ethos of a sport alive. It involves adhering to the rules, respecting others and officials, demonstrating grace in both victory and defeat. Key aspects include courtesy, self-control, fairness, often termed as playing with grace. So some examples like respecting your opponent, shaking hands, very like top line stuff there, helping someone if they're injured, sharing credit if you're in a team, stuff like that. But there's loads of examples of this. And you could probably say that BAM basketball example is certainly a grey area, and there's elements of that definition that probably don't fall into place. So, but then the wider context is then, does it even matter? Does sportsmanship even matter in the modern day? Like, should it even, well, it does exist, but like, does it like mean anything to anyone? Because my point is that it's not just about winning. It's sort of, it's separate to winning. And when you think about, when I was thinking about this, it's the whole like GOAT debate, the greatest of all time debate in like the different sports. You sort of think of, say, Michael Jordan, run at Cristiano Ronaldo, not known, especially after the Michael Jordan documentary. These people are kind of like arrogant, win at all costs, don't slow me down, record breakers. Not really like, does sportsmanship get you anywhere these days? Because at the end of the day, you're going to be remembered for your records, your trophies, your titles. And I'm like, well, does it even matter in the grand scheme of things, you know?
I think I would say definitely does matter. I think when you think about like the things that, say if you've got like your kids into sport, or you wanted them to get into sportsmanship and these things that you spoke about, fairness, ethics, like integrity, following rules, being gracious in defeat. This is the stuff that you want. You would want your kids to learn from sport, right? You wouldn't want them to get into something and be like, you got to just be the best, win no matter what. Like, that's not what you want them to learn. I think the sportsmanship side of stuff is what is like the more important, mainly, side of things. But then when it does get to the real extreme, the elite, the best of all time, that is sort of then reduced.
Definitely. Yeah, yeah. And I think
And
the perfect combination is if you're the best, but you still have the sportsmanship. And
yeah,
there's a few people who are like that, and there's some who have one but not the other. Basically, are you likable?
yes. And I think you can be. I'm not saying that Michael Jordan is this or Ronaldo, maybe. I think you can be like win at all costs, super competitive. Do you know what I mean? Like first in the gym, last to leave. Do you know what I mean? Like have this really unhealthy way of thinking about your sport and living your life, but also have all the things that you spoke about, like treat your opponents with respect. Do you know what I mean? And like say about wall breaking and not flopping or diving and all this sort of stuff. Obviously, not being like violent or aggressive. Like I think there is a way of doing it, but I think maybe at the high end of sports, it's rewarded to not, especially with social media or whatever. If you're maybe like Mr. Billy Big Bollocks being a bit of a hole, you're gonna get viral. Do you know what I mean? And maybe get more press. I don't know. I think it can, reward people who aren't good sportsmen.
Yes, and I would say that, if you think of, I think really good ways of talking about sportsmanship is with examples, because there is, because I think there's loads of context that goes into like, when is it the right moment? And a lot of times sportsmanship isn't just, it's not like you talk about it and be like, let's go into this and, or if something happens, time to be a good sport is kind of it just happens. It should be like an initial reaction to ingrained in who you are. And that's why I think a lot of the time it's just, are you a nice person to a degree? And which I think a great just example of this is Usain Bolt and Noah Lyles. Usain Bolt, the main man, the main sprinter of his time. Noah Lyles, probably like the equivalent to this current era. One, Usain Bolt, super likable. Noah Lyles talks like almost doesn't seem to have much respect for his other opponents, has this bravado, this arrogance, this main character energy that he calls it.
He calls it in that himself.
He said it.
Oh,
and I just think like one is very likable, one is not.
Something about Noah Lyles as well. I think his bravado and his persona, maybe, that he's putting across, it comes across a little bit like inauthentic. Like I don't really think that's
who he is.
Yeah, I think he's trying to be Bolt. I think he's trying to be like, I'm going to be such a character that I transcend track and field, and it comes across a little bit like, oh, are you just saying stuff so you get like a soundbite or a little
totally
clip?
Like the things that Bolt did, he never tried to like transcend. He just did it, right? Because he won, he broke records, and he did like the remember at London 2012 how nice he was with like the volunteers, always like, and he was always having a bit of a joke with the camera. He was just this like breath of fresh air, but not he didn't have the arrogance of the Americans, because I feel like the Americans have always had this like swagger, the sprinters for sure. And Usain Bolt comes in, dominates them all by having this like relaxed, nice guy that you could probably just like have a chat with.
I think that's a good point. Like, you can imagine going out for a pint or something with Bolt, do you know what I mean, and having a laugh. Whereas, like, can you imagine sitting next to Noah Lyles at the pub? You'd be like, would you shut this guy up? Someone cut this guy off. He's so annoying. And I think also the point of how you treat, like the ball boy, the volunteers, do you know what I mean? The person that passes you your towel is an indicator. It's a bit like how you treat your waiter or something, do you know what I mean, in like a restaurant. It's a big, like a giveaway how you treat people that maybe don't have the same status or power as you.
Well, I think we should get into some examples, because it's almost like there's been so many like high profile moments, and I would like to get your take on some of them, because I think it's good to think, would you have done that in this situation? Like, how good a sport are you? Because some of these are
I'm a good sport. I'm a really nice person.
Let's see. Let's put yourself in the feet of Jesse Owens. in 36 in Berlin Olympics. Owens is trying to qualify for the final of the long jump. We talked about the long jump before. Sprinters and long jump go hand in hand. Well, they used to. And anyway, Jesse Owens is up against a guy from Germany called Luz Long. And in the qualifying for the final, Jesse Owens jumps 2 fouls, which puts a lot of pressure on his third jump. He has 1 jump left to hit. He needs 7 meters 15 to qualify for the final. Luz Long notices that Jesse Owens is getting basically his run up a little wrong to the board because he's fouling, so he's measuring slightly different. Luz Long notices something and gives him a little tip and says, if you adjust this, you're going to be safe in your next jump. Jesse Owens takes that on board, jumps the distance, a safe jump. They both get to the final. In the final, Jesse Owens then beats Luz Long to win Olympic gold.
Lose loses.
Exactly. I mean, that is, I feel like, it is sportsmanship, but it wouldn't be not sportsmanship, I don't think, if he just kept his mouth shut. So would you have done that, George, is the question I'm asking. If you saw someone making such a clear mistake in their run-up and just be like, hey, you know what, if you just start your run-up 30 centimetres back or whatever.
It's really difficult, isn't it? Because, like, if it was someone that you trained with, do you know what I mean? Or you've competed lots with, you'll have this relationship, you might be friendly with that person. You're like, I want to see you in the final, I want you to do well. If they were just a rando, do you know what I mean? That you saw was just a competitor, you had no personal relationship with them, I probably would just keep especially if I thought that they were like a favourite who might win. I would probably be like, what do I owe this person? Like, again, if they're your mate or if it's different, or maybe Luz Long is just an exceptionally nice person, and maybe that's why. It's really tricky, isn't it? Because
I think I don't think I would have said anything either. I think especially if you thought he was one of your biggest competitors. I think maybe you wouldn't. But apparently they went on to then be friends after that because Jesse Owens recognises that. And I think maybe if it was someone who, you know, if you see Noah Lyles, for example, imagine him in the long jump and you'd be like, he's making a mistake here. I'm absolutely keeping my mouth shut. I'm like, you're not getting anything, mate. So maybe it's like, if I think this person would do it in return, possibly, but I don't know.
Yeah. That's a really nice example, I think, because it's like outside of the rules of the game. Do you know what I mean? Like there's nothing in the rule book that says you can't help out opponents or something like that. It's just like completely just an act of being kind.
Well, exactly. And I think as I went on to this in the research around this, I was like, well, where does the Olympic spirit start and where does sportsmanship end? Like we talk about the Olympic spirit, are they one of the same thing or are they different? And I think the Olympic spirit is bigger than just the sport itself. It's like when you look it up, it's about deeper values, and it even like meant to transcend into people who watch the Olympics, and it's about how they hold themselves, and it's about putting political differences aside and blah 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 and all this stuff. So I think Luz Long is showing the Olympic spirit there, maybe rather than sportsmanship.
Lovely.
Another
I like
great,
that.
and
I mean, I want to hear more about the Olympic spirit. Maybe we should just do a whole episode on the Olympic spirit, because to me, the Olympic spirit is everyone watching back home with the flags, being like, oh, he's just my little paper boy and now he's all grown up and he's got a gold medal and all. Like, that's what I think of it as. And the fact that just like it's across all these countries, do you know what I mean? People who completely different politics and might be enemies in the wider world can put those differences aside, agree on these rules and compete hopefully fairly and cleanly at this like, game that we've decided. It's pretty crazy when you think of it like that all these different countries can agree to play a game like this with these rules and not cheat. Apart from Russia. And
totally. And then that's when you put it when you sort of mention it like that, you can sort of get why things like the Ukrainian couldn't have, you know, on his helmet, the Ukrainian skeleton athlete couldn't have like athletes who had died in the war, because it's it's meant to be this neutral ground, isn't it? Where you don't bring anything in, as sad as it was, but like you can understand that that's what the Olympic spirit is essentially all about. Anyway, I'm going to reel off another example for you, George, because you do like these, and I think you're going to like this one as well.
I'm hoping.
This wasn't in the Olympics actually, but I think still you can still show the Olympic spirit outside the Olympics, I would say. Women's under-23 Italian fencing championship. It's niche for sure.
Okay.
And Gaia Triditi was 12-9 up against her opponent Emilia Rosati. 12-9 with 17 seconds left. She rolls her ankle. The Gaia, who was three points up, completely rolls her ankle, and she's sort of in a lot of pain. You can watch this on YouTube. You can see her ankle like actually roll. Anyway, she gets up and decides, like, I'm going to try and carry on. Emilia, who's her opponent, decides to just let the clock run down, and sort of steps away, decides not to contest. And this was in the final as well, so she became Italian champion. How do you feel about that?
Right. So, unfortunately, like, injuries are a part of sports. So, I mean, if it became a point where anytime an opponent gets injured, you have to like step aside, like it sucks. It really does. And like if someone gets injured, especially when it's just like in the final and they're winning and there might be like not much time left or something, it really does suck. And it's not good for like the fans either, because they're probably like, oh no, like, but I don't think it's,
I suppose in a running event, because they're easy to understand. If someone rolls their ankle 10 meters from the finish, no one's stopping.
No.
You'd be like, "Whoop! Oh, this is nice."
No.
Yeah.
And like obviously rolling your ankle is it's difficult, but like it's like people roll their ankles.
Yeah, and you could be really cynical and be like, "Well, my ankle was just stronger, so therefore it's part of being an athlete."
Exactly.
You got your technique wrong, or blah blah blah, and
you didn't put your weight down right on your back foot, and now you've.
And this is an area actually has parallels to cycling, which really does my head in when someone crashes in the lead, or the leader of the Tour de France crashes, and then everyone slows down to let them back. I'm like, maybe you crashed because you took a corner wrong. It's not just like how you ride is part of the sport. So if you crash, then that's on you. You know, unless the nature of the crash is like a spectator with a board, or but if you took a corner too fast and you're down, well, I'm going, see ya. Like, I didn't take that corner too fast. I took that into account. Bye.
It's mad.
Maybe a lot of sport.
No. I think with the injury thing, it's really tough. So if like, I don't know, we're playing a big game of football, your striker is like, he's got the record for most goals in a season or whatever. It's a really important match. And then he like busts his leg or blows out his ACL or whatever. Like, you sub him out, you bring in your sub. You can't just be like, oh, can we play this one again in 6 months? Because, I think
it's commendable, but not necessary. The reason it's got in the news, like, would we be talking about the under-23 Italian fencing championship? No, if it wasn't for this. And it's seen as like, what a lovely gesture,
it sort of makes me think of the Brownlees, which I guess is something we spoke about before. So that was Jonathan Brownlee, the younger brother, was winning in the World Championships, I think. It was like a World Championships race. Bonks, he's fumbling around, can't see straight. He's like completely lost it. He must be seeing stars. And then his brother catches up with him. And it's because in the World Championships, it's like you get points per event throughout like a season. So it's like if he lost this, he wouldn't get as many points and it might blow his whole championships. So he grabs him, carries him to the finishing line and throws him over. Yeah. And I think that was controversial at the time, wasn't it? Because obviously like we loved that. We were like, woo, brotherly love, go Brownlees. But you can imagine people being that as like, well, he's cheated. Jonathan hasn't timed it right, hasn't fueled enough. And now his brother's picked him up, and chucked him over the line.
Yeah, you can. I think because that was different to an injury, right? Because he'd gone. You know, it was looking like a cannot finish, even though he was close to the end. He was.
Yeah.
He wasn't with us, was he?
No.
Johnny Brownlee. He was completely bonked, and anyone else is not looking after him. He's just thank God his brother was there.
Yeah. You go past, have a little smirk, might mutter something under your breath.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, Johnny Brownlee didn't win that race. The South African, I can't remember his name, left him, and as he probably should, and go on and win. But it was Alistair Brownlee that then picked him up to make sure he got the points to get second. I think. Yeah.
So that's sportsmanship, right? But it's kind of not adhering to the rules. Maybe I think they were granted that it was okay.
Yeah, I think it was like, well, I think because he was actually on his feet, he wasn't carried. He was still walking barely. That it can do. But yeah,
that's an interesting one.
But that does lead nicely to sort of grey areas because there are lots that I think is sort of just is this sportsmanship or is so we've talked about the in cycling, should you wait for someone who crashes? I think, although it's seen as sportsmanship, I just think it's silly, to be honest. And
it just takes you out of the race. Do you know what I mean? It's a race. It's like, why are you slowing down?
It doesn't happen in motorsport or any other sort of racing.
It's just like, we're trying to get to the end as quick as possible. So why are you telling me to slow down? I haven't crashed. I haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah. So it's seen as sportsmanship, like unwritten rule of cycling, but I think it can go in the bin. And then another one, sledging in cricket. Do you know what this is? I know you hate talking about cricket, but do you know what sledging is?
I think sledging might be like my favourite thing about cricket. This is when you just cheek each other, right? It's just like trash talk.
I guess it's trash talk in basketball as well. It's like, is this okay to do? I guess it depends on the sledge or the trash talk, like how far you go, because I do think it's fantastic as well. But
it's funny that they have like a funny name for it. Sledging makes it sound like more fun. I guess it's one of those things where it's definitely not, by every definition that you mentioned, it's not sportsmanship, right? You're not, it's not treating your opponent with respect. It's not, but
it's gamesmanship. It's bending the rules.
Psychological warfare.
Yeah.
It's like, again, it's a way of getting under someone's skin and hoping they muck up. So it's not within the rules of the game, but I think it can be kind of fun. Obviously, it can go way too far, and then it can lead into scrapping and violence, which is obviously like the furthest end that you can get away from sportsmanship.
Yeah.
But I think if you just like someone like does a terrible bowl and you're like, what was that, you idiot?
I mean, Freddie Flintoff there's some amazing ones where he's talking to the batsman. I mean, he's sort of like egging him on to slog it. And then he's getting no response from the batsman. Eventually, he does go for a slog and misses and hits the stumps. And Freddie Flintoff's just like wetting himself, laughing so hard. And like, sport is meant to be entertaining, and that's what makes it entertaining. Like, what you meant to do? Just sit in silence, like not sit in silence, but just stand there and just be like, and let's see what happens.
Brilliant for the fans as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, we like to talk about that sort of stuff, get the clips of that, watch it, have a good laugh. And some of this stuff, it might not be, sportsman-like-esque, but entertaining and fun. And I think that's a balance as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got one unwritten rule, a grey area that I'd like to tell you about. So every time this happens, really winds me up. So again, in basketball, so talking about basketball a lot today, there's this thing where if like a team is winning by a lot, right, like the garbage time or whatever, it's seen that you shouldn't really like play too much. It's like if you're up by 20 with a few seconds left and you get a fast break, they're like, oh, dribble it out. Do you know what I mean? Or just like let the clock go down, or just do a little layup. Whereas,
what do you mean? So if your team is down, you've no chance of winning. There's
No,
10
no, no,
seconds.
no, no. Say so the winning team. So
Oh,
say
okay.
the
Okay.
Reds versus the Blues. The Reds are winning 30
Mm.
points. There's not much left, but we get a block or something. We get a fast break, so it's just like
Yeah.
one man running up to an open basket. If he was to then do like a crazy 360 dunk between his legs or whatever
Yeah.
to his home crowd, right? Everyone's going to be like, wow, go
Mm.
crazy. There's always like scuffle on the pitch. They're like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You've won the game. You should just like chill out or whatever.
Mm.
And I'm always like, why? If I had paid hundreds of dollars to see this basketball team, right? I want to see my team play the full game. I don't want it to just then become a non-contest with 5 minutes left and people start going to the car parks early. I'm like, play to the end of the game. If you don't want to see on my team get a crazy dunk, play defense. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
play the game. And I'm always like, why are the feelings of these millionaires who are playing basketball more important than the entertainment and the enjoyment of the
Well,
game?
what you're saying here, if I go back to the rule book or the definition, it's
Yeah.
being respectful and being gracious in winning and defeat, right? Is what they're getting at, right?
Yes, yeah. And I guess with stuff like I totally get it. I totally get it. But like, it's not like you're still playing the game. Do you know what I mean? Like in football, if you're 7-0 up, imagine, right, if you got a fast break or whatever,
Mm.
and the striker just like dribbled it and like passed it out for a goal kick.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
You'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
But like, shoot the ball. If you don't, and I don't understand what the difference. Yeah, they might do a flashy dunk or whatever, but that still happens within a competitive normal game. That still does happen from time to time. It's not like they're like doing something. I don't know. It always just really winds me up.
Well, I guess it's similar to, if you try and find a parallel to football, is like showboating, doing loads of tricks, or like
Yeah.
Neymar gets a lot of flack for that.
Yeah.
For example, because it's like, well, it's unnecessary. It's why Ronaldo in his early days got like absolutely battered by defenders, because it's like not showing respect. Like you're not trying to, what you're doing, you're just showing off. And maybe that's what similar. And I think it was fair play. I think if you're on the pitch, do what you want. And I agree with what you're saying. Just play till the end, basically. Why would you sacrifice points? That is mental, especially if it's going to add to your stats, which is like, well, it seems like the NBA want all that anyway. So that's crazy.
I also just wanted to talk about, speaking of football, diving, which to me seems like a area of football that winds me up so much. I mean, I'm not a huge football fan, but like when I see it happening, especially with all the cameras now, and you can just slow it down and you can just see that there was like no contact and they've just like rolled around on the floor. It's just like really spoils it. So it's like makes it should, like you said, it should be entertaining. It makes me angry.
Yeah. Well, it's gamesmanship. It's similar. It's like, I guess it's in the same like category as sledging, in that like you're trying to bend the rules, but it's nowhere near as fun, or it's just pathetic. You're just trying to like, you're cheating, aren't you? And when you look at the best examples of sportsmanship, it's like, footballer who's dived and then goes to the referee. No, like, there was no contact. A penalty's been awarded, and they go up to the referee and go, no, honestly, no one touched me. But you dived, you fell to the floor then. So you were diving, you're just embarrassed by what you've just done.
And then it's like, is that because diving is so ingrained? It's like the moment you're in the penalty box and you feel contact, just fall down anyway. And then it's like afterwards, they're like, oh, what have I done? And like regret it. That's like, it's like something that they really need to do something about, because it's like so annoying. I don't know what it would be. Fine them like so much that it actually does hurt.
This is it now. It's become part of the sport, and to the point where if someone gets a bit of contact and doesn't go down, you get pundits going, well, they should have gone down. They would have got a penalty, Yeah. So this is now becoming part of how to play the game. So yeah, but I agree, that's not sportsmanlike. Another, I wanted to give an insight here on from mum and dad, actually, because I asked them, did you experience any good, I don't know, acts of sportsmanship or any areas that you thought were not by the rules? Anyway, on the whole, they said not really. We never get told about the Olympic spirit. It's not like you pre-Olympics, you're like, this is the way we behave and this is the manner which we do it, and nothing like that. And I also don't think maybe there was as many egos back then. Like if you look at the media interviews that Mum did and the interviews that she had, they're all very polite, aren't they? And no one's like, everyone's like, just seems like very happy to be there. No one's media trained. No one's like looking for a social clip or
no.
But the one thing that they were like stretching at was Steve Avett, so 1500 meter runner, with Crammy and Seb Coe. He would often win races comfortably and would like wave to the crowd in the last sort of few meters. And some people like that. Some other athletes don't like that. And I think it's a grey area because that's exactly what Usain Bolt did in the 100 meters when he broke the world record. He was celebrating before the end. But we love Usain Bolt. And if you're doing what Steve Avett did, some people like it, some people hate it. I think if I would hate it if I was in his race, to be honest.
Yeah, of course. But then beat him.
Yeah.
It's like, you should be allowed to celebrate, and like a wave. If he was like looking back and I don't know, giving the finger or something, or like it's like a wave is like the harmless thing ever. And again, just like the fans are gonna love that in the stadium.
Yeah.
It's like completely different. The celebrating thing is interesting because that made me think of Alex Yee recently. You know, he was doing the Cole Palmer, and that was quite. I don't know. It was like a Spanish guy maybe who he beat.
There was a guy from New Zealand who was his mates with, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like he just overtook him, didn't he? Like not too far from the line. It's still fairly close, and he's crossing the line celebrating. But celebrate your win. Celebrate your win. It's interesting, and we like celebrations, don't we? Normally.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. I think it's fair game. I think the ultimate response is, well, just don't give him enough time to do that. It's,
and obviously that would be annoying if you can't stay with him, but then like you're really angry at the fact that you can't beat him. You're not really angry at the fact that he's waving. Is maybe what I think about. Very interesting topic overall though. Enjoyed discussing it.
I don't think we've talked about anything that is actually a good example of sportsmanship. We have, but maybe I wanted to touch on one that's maybe like Olympic spirit, wider than just sportsmanship, and get your take on this as well.
Okay.
Because it was in my notes and I was like, I don't really not clear exactly where this sits, but it's quite unique. Tokyo 2022 in the high jump. So I'm going to get the name right here. Mutaz Essa Bashir from Qatar, one of the best to ever do it, against Italian Gianmarco Tamberi. Anyway, they'd done the whole event and they were tied. They both cleared 2:37 and then both failed 3 attempts at 2:39. What happens then is that you go to a jump off until someone ultimately clears and one person fails. So the actual winner could go down. So say they both failed again at 2:37, they'd go down. So then go to 2:36. So you could win with a jump that was lower than what you'd cleared. Anyway, so they're having this discussion with the official, and Bashim goes, "Can we have 2 golds?" And the official goes, and before he says, "Well, yes," and then tries to explain, and Bashim just looks at Tamberi and just puts his hand out to shake, and it's the coolest thing. Like I don't know how I feel about sharing a gold medal, but you watch the video and I'm like, that is so cool. It was the first time there'd been a shared gold medal in athletics since 1912. So almost like one of the first ever Olympics.
Yeah. Like you said, like from the outside, you're like, would you want to share your gold?
You're
Would you,
ugh.
like would that? So what is it? What is that? Is it a golf? Like there's all sorts of like thoughts that go through your head. But yeah, that clip is so wholesome and so nice. And I think they are good mates, aren't they? And they've like been at loads of competitions together, and it's just they were just both on the same page like straight away and wanted to share
That's
the
the
gold.
amazing thing, I think.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he looks at him and just goes,
Yeah.
it's almost no words to be like,
Yeah.
shall we? He just puts a
Yeah.
hand out to do like a dab, and then the
Yeah.
Italian guy's like absolutely delighted, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's nice to see them celebrate together.
Yeah, imagine if you went for it and he's like, no, mate.
Yeah, put that jump up.
Yeah.
Put that hand down. Let's fight this out.
Yeah.
That's a really
love
nice
it.
example, yeah. All right. Good chat. Should we finish off with a podium pick? I've got
let's do it.
a loosely sportsmanship-based podium pick for you to finish off. So, podium pick for any new listeners. I'm going to give Matt 3 options. He has to rank them gold, silver, or bronze. So, gold, silver, and bronze. This is your podium pick. 1, lose in the last seconds of a marathon in a humiliating way. And the next day, you're a global meme. Your face is everywhere. People are cheeking you. That you're the laughing stock of the running world. Number 2, in a terrible act of bad sportsmanship, Mike Tyson bites your entire ear off. You don't have to fight him, but he is going to bite your ear off.
You go, well, I know where to put that one.
Number 3, you lose your temper in a World Cup final. Lash out at an opponent who keeps diving and you get sent off. Your team loses.
Oh, wow. These are all awful. I mean, the least awful is coming second in the marathon because it might be, you've not said how humiliating, like, have I, well, I know, I'm trying to think, pooed my pants and slipped on my poo or something.
Your nipples are bleeding. Your pants are full of poo.
So
you keep
the vagueness
falling, you
of
keep
that
getting
scares
back
me. Yeah. So I'm hesitant to put that at gold, but I will. There's a redemption arc to be had there. You know, I could come back and
not put yourself.
So I'm gonna put that. Mike Tyson is going last. I mean, I want my ears. It would be funny to be like, oh, so how'd you lose your ear? Yeah, Mike Tyson just took it off.
He did it again?
So that's going in. And then the middle one, parallels with Beckham in against Argentina, but it would be worse actually because it would be World Cup final and then your team lose. God, I don't know if you'd ever recover from that. That's so bad. Maybe that's bottom. I'm going to go that bottom.
Wow.
Lose an ear and then second in the marathon.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't complain with those.
Yeah, that's a good podium
good choices.
Yeah.
Please, that one.
Well, nice.
All right. Thanks. That was good chat. If anyone listening has any examples of good or bad sportsmanship, stick them in the comments. We'd love to hear about some other examples and maybe we could talk about them in a future episode. But as always, thanks so much for listening. Rate us, send us questions, follow us on social media.
Follow us on Spotify.
Yeah, follow
do
us
what
on
you
all
need to do.
everything. Just follow us and keep listening, please.
Please.
All right.
Thanks,
Matt. See you another time.
See you, George. Bye-bye now.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.